The caravan should have just entered Wrothgar territory. I can take you as far as the entry gates, but you'll have to make it from there on your own. This is important. If those supplies don't reach the city, the smaller clans don't stand a chance. With so many resources diverted to rebuild the city of Orsinium or to fend off Reachman invaders, the smaller clans haven't prepared for the coming winter. For many orcs, the supplies on that caravan could mean the difference between life and death. Well, not me personally, but yes, Orsinium is going to be grander and more magnificent than any previous version of the city. King Kurog has invited artisans and merchants from all over Tamriel to help with the effort, not just adventurers like you. That's the king's beloved mother. The king is too busy waging war and cracking skulls to be bothered with sending invitations. He leaves all the administrative details to the Forge Mother. She's very good at such things. Invaders from the Reach, the Winterborn. They're following a mad warlord named Yurfon Iceheart on some insane quest to take our land. But we're not going to let that happen. We've got something the Reachmen don't. A secret weapon. Our Achater. What's an Achater? The big animal next to me. That's an Achater. Don't you have them around here? Sweet things, really. We use them for all sorts of things. Transportation, pack animals, beasts of burden. They even make delicious cheese. I can't get into too many details because I don't really know myself. I'm sure it has something to do with rebuilding the city of Orsinium, getting the clans in line, and dealing with the Reach invaders. It's kind of hectic in Wrothgar right now. That's complicated. Well, no, not really. Kurog saved Emmerich's arse during Ranser's war, and we do our part for the Alliance. But there's no way we're letting Covenant forces get anywhere near Orsinium. This situation requires a more personal touch. Who sacks Orsinium every time we rebuild it? The Bredons and the Red Guard. Sure, we're allies now, but how long is that going to last? So the king put it in writing. No Breton or Red Guard armies in Wrothgar. Ever. Says so in the treaty. I can take you as far as the border gate. Then I have to come back in case anyone else shows up with an invitation. Just catch up to the caravan and escort it to the city. Then introduce yourself to Forge Mother Alga. She's expecting you. Let's go.
You there. We need help. Our caravan. They came out of nowhere. Attacked us. Stole our cargo. The orcs need those supplies. The Winterborn. From the Reach. They ambushed us. Leaped out of the damn snow. It's like they knew we were coming. After that, it was all a blur. By the gods, they turned people into ice. They shattered them. We were taking food and supplies to Orsinium. Once there, everything was supposed to be distributed to the outlying clans to help them make it through the winter. The remains of the caravan and the survivors. No, not all of us. We had a number of warriors among the crew, hired to keep guard. But we were no match for the Winterborn marauders. Some of the traders, though, they raced after them. We were going to help them, but an orc patrol showed up. Some chieftain named Bosrock told us to stay out of the way. The orcs went after the marauders, but they haven't come back yet. Someone's got to save the trader.
What are you doing? We can't let Chief Bosrock deal with the Winterborn by himself.
Didn't come all this way to die, Elf. That isn't what I signed up for.
Damn it! Where are all these Winterborn marauders coming from? Anyone see where the chief and his warriors went? Anyone?
All I see is death and Iceheart's damn Winterborn. A whole lot of Winterborn.
Did Orsinium send you? Are you part of the reinforcements? The Winterborn came out of nowhere. It happened so fast. They took our cargo into the hills and the orc peasants chased them. That's when Chief Bosrog and his warriors arrived. Our caravan was heading for Orsinium, the new orc city, when the Winterborn landed on the wagons like flesh flies on skeever pie. The orc peasants refused to let their supplies be taken, so they chased the marauders into the hills. In case you haven't noticed, these cracked acorns aren't worth their weight in bloodberry pudding. Besides, before we could rally our forces, Chief Basrog and his orc warriors arrived. He told us to wait here and then went after the marauders. I knew I liked you the moment I saw you. Chief Basrog is big and mean and looks like he can fight, but there are an awful lot of marauders. Iceheart's Winterborn won't stop until Basrog and all the orc peasants are dead. You better hurry. This caravan brought me. I thought we already covered that. Oh, you mean specifically? The invitation. You got one too, didn't you? It talked about testing yourself against the most savage land in Tamriel. That was a challenge I couldn't pass up. I will, eventually. Maybe. I mean, look around. These people are injured. What happens if the Winterborn come back? Someone has to protect them, keep them from being picked off one by one. Anyway, I'll keep them safe while you help Chief Basrog. He's a chief, in charge of an orc clan or something. If you ask me, he's got more than a chip on his shoulder. It's a whole damn mountain. I don't think he's a big supporter of King Kurog, but he saved us before he went to help the peasants. No, we were the caravan guards. Basrog said he was on patrol, looking for Winterborn marauders. Some scary Reach warlord named Iceheart leads them. Even Basrog seemed a bit nervous just talking about him. Now go help the chief before it's too late.
Poor bastards never had a chance.
I saw what you did out there. Thanks for helping the clan orcs. The ones in here, I think it's too late to help them. Iceheart. He froze them solid. The bastards got magic the likes of which I've never seen. Yes, I'm with Basrog. We were out on patrol when we saw the Winterborn attack the caravan. By the time we reached the wagons, the marauders had already stolen the supplies, and a group of orc peasants were trying to chase them down. Stupid peasants. You're Fawn Iceheart. He's the most powerful of the Winterborn warlords that have been raiding Wrothgar the past few years. Since he arrived from the Reach, the attacks have gotten worse. Iceheart is strong, ambitious, and extremely dangerous. I like your courage, but I don't think you'll get to test it today. If Iceheart was still around, we'd be frozen solid by now. My guess? He got what he wanted and hightailed it out of here. A shame, really. The outlying clans need those supplies. Enough food and supplies to get the outlying clans through the winter. Without those supplies, the clans are going to starve. Chief Basrog went to track down the marauders and find the supplies. If he fails, I don't know what we're going to do. Search the area and see if you can find anything that even hints as to where the marauders disappeared to. If you happen to pick up their trail, find Chief Basrog. He'll know what to do. Leave no stone unturned. Anything you uncover could prove useful.
The clan peasants. Are they on their way to Orsinium?
The soldiers escorted them and the wounded outsiders. They should be safe enough.
Safe enough isn't good enough. Go after them. I'll continue to look for the Winterborn and the missing supplies. You're the outsider who leaped into the bear's den to fight the Winterborn? Ulshan, the Wood Elf, mentioned you. Surprised you didn't end up all bruised and bloody like the rest of these fools. This is our home, not an amusement for your pleasure. And I appreciate that. Doesn't change the fact that I despise that you're here, though, sticking your nose in our business. Ah, yes. The King's invitation, and what a royal bag of snakes that is. Look, you have my thanks for saving those people. And as much as I hate it, I owe you a favor. But right now, I need to determine where they took the stolen supplies. Let me see that. We've been betrayed, and for gold, no less. By Malakath, I'll make sure someone pays for this. Look, I need to protect the next caravan to come through the Merchant's Gate. If you truly want to help Wrothgar, then you will help me. This note indicates that the traitor has interests in the city. I want you to track down this traitor and find our stolen shipments. The fastest way to get on my good side, and on Kurog's, is to expose the traitor and recover our supplies. I suggest you start your search in the inn. Gold and dark dealings often go hand in hand with drinking and celebrating. Don't disappoint me. I hate putting my trust in outsiders. Do everyone a favor and prove me wrong. Unfortunately, not even orcs are immune to greed. War provides too many opportunities for those willing to trade in lives and suffering. Gold. It turns brother against brother. We were better off when we bartered for everything we needed. I'm the chief of the Furran clan, one of the oldest and strongest clans in all of Wrothgar. Kurog makes it sound like tradition is a bad thing, but by Malakath's broken tooth, tradition is the lifeblood of our culture. It's who we are. You're a long way from home, and sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. That's a good way to get it cut off, at least in my stronghold. Still, Malakath would call me a fool if I turned down help when it was freely offered.
Paid you back, and with interest? About time. Maybe he finally...
It's a good day, friend. I've got gold in my pocket and a full mug in my hand. So what can I do for you? I don't see how that's any of your business. And if you're thinking of trying to rob me, well, think again. I need this gold for my daughter. Now leave me be or I'll hit you with my mug. Oh, why didn't you just say so? Being all mysterious and scaring a person half to death? So, why are you looking for Gulag? My Trinamax deformed toe, if this gold is illegal, my Shieldhad needs her potions. Alright, let's try this. If you forget all about what we were discussing, then I might have information that will help you. Do you agree? Right, you never heard this from me, but Gulag left here a little while ago to talk to those Khajiit traders. You know, the ones who showed up recently? And if nothing else, you should be able to smell him. He wears some kind of fancy fragrance, says it keeps the spirits docile. The Khajiit sold it to him. You ask me, it smells like a dead horker left out too long in the sun. Follow that scent and it'll lead you right to him.
Only the finest wares here.
Lend a helping hand.
And who might you be? Go find another bathhouse. I hired this one for the entire day.
I'll let you deal with this, Gulag, darling. I'm going to go and get something to drink.
What's this about? If you aren't here to use the baths, it must be about my tonics. Well, I can assure you, my tonics are guaranteed to cure whatever ails you. Just takes time. And multiple applications. What? I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm a loyal subject of the king. I don't have anything to do with any damn Winterborn. No, I can explain. The people of this city, I made a deal for them. Gold from the Winterborn allows me to produce my tonics at a fraction of the cost. I'm doing this for the people. The outlying clans, they're enemies of this city and our king. Their chiefs refuse to accept the king's rule. They'd rather stay stuck in their old ways and traditions. Meanwhile, the poor of this city can't afford medicine. I'm saving lives. A small price to pay for a larger gain. I've been loyal to this city since before you outsiders started arriving. You have no right to judge me. Fine. What's the use? See what happens when you just try to help? The supplies were sent to Frostbreak Fortress. That's where the Winterborn warlord, Yorfan Iceheart, plans to regroup his forces. I'm sure he's guarding the supplies personally. It's good to meet like-minded individuals. You have my thanks. The poor of this city can take comfort in knowing.
Ah, another traveler arrives in our grand city. Welcome, welcome. Are you one of the chosen? Do you bear the letter from the Forge Mother? I am a high priestess of Trinimac, serving in Orsinium's temple. Like you, I'm here at the request of Forge Mother Olga to help revive the ancient traditions of truth, honor, and unity. I also greet new arrivals. Tell me, how is your journey? We've received similar reports. Just one of a series of unfortunate incidents that we plan to rectify. Orsimer soldiers and even the king himself are looking into this. King Korog believes that even those who refuse his rule must be cared for. Truly, perhaps we can still recover the supplies the clans need to survive the winter. The decision to invite outsiders to our land has already reaped untold benefits. Tell me, where have the Winterborn hidden the supplies? You located the stolen supplies. Trinimac surely has sent you to us in our time of need. Take this as a reward for helping our people, and you must present yourself to Forge.
Is this one of the outsiders who responded to my invitation, High Priestess?
Yes, Grand Forge Mother.
Thank you, Solgra. I will speak to the outsider. Come, outsider. We have much to discuss. So our ambassador finally found you. Took a damn time. But you're here now, and that's what counts. Welcome to Orsinium. Amazing how fast we rebuilt the place, isn't it? Orsimer can do anything when we work together. The damn Reachmen and their foul magic. It provides the Winterborn with an unlimited number of soldiers to send against us. Even so, our soldiers have dispatched all but one of their warlords. That bastard, Yorfan Iceheart. Where are the supplies? Trinimac smiles upon us then. My son, King Korog, has already traveled to Frostbreak Fortress to deal with Warlord Iceheart directly. Without a strong leader, the Winterborn threat will fade away. You must go and tell the king about the supplies. There are two things my son can't resist: food and battle. When he learned of Iceheart's location, he rushed to deal with the warlord personally. Help him end the threat and recover the supplies. The unification of the Orc clans depends on it. The Winterborn pose a threat to all of Wrothgar. Yorfan Iceheart in particular has long been a thorn in our side. The king issued the order to invite you to our land. If the Winterborn are defeated thanks to that order, the clans will take notice. Of course, but many of our best warriors are off helping the Alliance. Besides, the other clan chiefs are too busy seeking their own glory. My son needs someone at his side who has nothing to prove. Someone without an axe to grind. The accursed Winterborn of the Reach. Under the Longhouse Emperors, they dominated these mountains. But the mountains belong to us now. We've driven the cowards back, but their leader, Yorfon Iceheart, still lives. It's time to change that. You can find my son at the camp outside Frostbreak Fortress. It's an old Breton fort southwest of Orsinium. We've been laying siege to the place for weeks, but Iceheart and his rats have burrowed deep. Go and help my son exterminate the vermin. This is Orsinium. Don't you know our traditions? Kurog is king, the chief of our clan, and every clan far and wide. When it comes to war, he's in command. Everything else is better left to the capable skills of his mother and wives. Oh yes, and many times over, just like any other clan chief. Norogra the Huntwife, Tuga the Forgewife, Baratal the Hearthwife, and he has a few shield wives as well. They're all fine young women. Kurog's been well matched. I've seen to that. High Priestess Solgra? Oh, we couldn't have done any of this without her. She upholds the ancient traditions, traditions we sorely need right now. With her help, we will restore the true religion of the Orsimer, the religion of Trinimac. Trinimac the warrior, the paragon. Once he was our patron, our god. He encompasses the true ideals of the Orsimer. Strength, honor, and unity. Talk to High Priestess Solgra. She speaks of Trinimac with more elegance and passion than I can manage.
Have you happened to see an elf around here? Tall, spindly, talks way too much for his own good. No, of course not. That would have been too easy. This is what I get for hiring a tuskless runt. He said he could improve efficiency in Greystone Quarry. What did we get for our trouble? First the fog, then the screams, then nothing. Not a word, and it smells like elf mischief to me. My husband, Chief Ramash, went down into the quarry to look for the elf and find out what happened to our workers. He came back covered in blood, and I can tell you, Ramash doesn't bleed easily. I'd appreciate any help you can provide. After what happened to the chief, the rest of the clan refuses to go anywhere near the quarry. If you can get in there, find out what happened, and make sure the quarry workers are safe. It's all because of that damn city they're building. The king needs stone for Orsinium's walls, for its keeps, for its damn towers. I don't know where quarry overseer Yadurl found the elf, but he claimed he could increase our production tenfold. Typical elf. Too clever for his own good. All tricks and hasty maneuvers. But our clan depends on the quarry. It's our livelihood. If we can't determine what happened down there and fix it, the Tumnash clan is finished. In the Longhouse, tending to his wounds and raging about the troubles that have befallen us. By Malakath's crooked tusk. Chiefs and their howling. He's useless when he's like this. I'm Chief Ramash's forge wife. Tumnash is my clan, and Greystone is our quarry. These recent troubles, on top of the pressure to provide more stone for Orsinium, are beginning to take a toll on us. I tell you, it's enough to make Malakath weep.
First that damn elf and now you? Can't a wounded chief have some time alone to rest and recuperate? Outsiders. Always want what they can't have. You could ask whatever you want, but everything that happened in the quarry is kind of a blur. I'm not actually sure what happened down there. Sure, most of the blood I came back covered in belonged to Bonalog, but that doesn't mean I didn't sustain a few injuries of my own. Look, it was dark and foggy down there. I don't know what attacked us, but it was fast and it was dangerous. I remember shadows in the fog. Sharp claws, slicing, cutting. I need time to recover.
What are you doing down here? Don't you know that Greystone Quarry is a disaster area? What happened? The High Elf, that's what happened. Things were fine for a while. Rock flowed out of the quarry at a record pace. But then we broke into a cavity and the elf insisted on exploring it. That's when the fog began to roll out of the hole. It was fog, thick as stew it was. Chief Ramash and Huntwife Bulgar decided to enter the quarry and find out what happened to the elf and the workers. We went with them. Worst decision I ever made. We entered the fog, but we weren't alone in there. There were shadows, things in the fog. We were attacked. I saw the chief run out, covered in blood. Bulgar's still down there, looking for her daughter. Last we knew, she was with the elf. Find the Huntwife and her daughter, and kill as many of those things as you can. But the elf, save the elf for me. Like I said, it was dark, foggy. Couldn't make out anything except shapes, shadows in the fog. Even though I couldn't see them clearly, I could hear them clanging around, skittering on sharp claws, and they moved fast, like lightning. We just entered the cavity when I noticed the strange pipes on the walls. If I had to guess, it was the steam coming out of those pipes that created the fog. Made it impossible for us to see, let alone fight. Those things had no trouble, though.
I thought you were one of those damn machines. You're just lucky I've got the reflexes of a snow bear, or your guts would be decorating the floor. Now, care to explain what you're doing down here? Is this another of my husband's half-hearted rescue attempts? Whatever. I guess I should be grateful. One of those metal spiders took a chunk out of my leg. Nothing too serious, but I can't fight worth a damn. So it's up to you to find my daughter. I don't, but I can hope, can I? Besides, I haven't seen her corpse, and she is her father's daughter. Then there's the elf. He knows what he's doing, and has more than a few tricks up his sleeve to deal with the machines. He's a clever bastard, I'll give him that. He knew there was a dwarven ruin down here, and used us to uncover it. We should have been more careful, but he had significantly increased our production. And you know Orsinium, they always want more stone. Shaban, she's a brave young woman. Took an immediate interest in the High Elf and his fancy ways. The elf didn't seem to mind. In fact, I think he liked having someone strong and beautiful at his side. You find one, and you'll find the other.
Oh, thank Trinimac. You're not one of those dwarven Dwemer things. But what are you doing down here? Did you come to help me escape from this damn quarry? Our quarry, sure. But the dwarves carved out this quarry centuries ago. It looks like they started down here and were working their way up. But don't ask me what they used the stone for. I don't want to think about that. He told me to stay here while he went to investigate the central structure. It was brave of him to go on his own. I wanted to help him, but I know my limitations. I was trained to deal with animals, not walking forges.
Amazing! You were actually able to navigate the Dwemer defenses? You must either be exceptionally strong or exceedingly lucky. Either way, I can make use of that. Ah, so you've met them. I really do feel awful about what happened. I offered my help because I suspected that the ruins of Mizandine were down here, but I never expected such powerful defenses. This place is remarkable. Yes, but I was referring to the fog. It was a most curious thing. As soon as we unearthed the door to this place, a heavy fog set in and the Dwemer spiders swarmed us. I know how to handle dwarven constructs. The orcs, sadly, do not. These Dwemer systems are as sophisticated as they are ancient. I'm not sure we can disable the constructs now that they're fully operational, but we may be able to control them. All we need to do is find the construct control center. Fascinating! Our paths cross again. Thank the Eight. It's amazing how often good research leads to remarkable discoveries. Since we parted, I have come to the conclusion that this is an automated quarry. Like the Orc Pit above, only much more sophisticated. Isn't it, though? That's what we in the business call a remarkably well-preserved orb of illumination. I believe this dwarven device may contain the key that allows us to bring Mizandine's defenses under our control. Think of the device as a gigantic combination lock. These emitters shine light upward towards the various lenses attached to the rings. If you rotate the lenses to a specific orientation, the device should unlock. Trial and error, like any other scientific endeavor. But be sure to keenly observe every rotation of the rings. That's the key to our success. We can manipulate the 3 kinetic resonators to adjust the lenses and rotate the rings. Follow me. Excellent! This should allow me to control the dwarven constructs. Fascinating. I never imagined the control mechanism would fit inside so small a space. It will take me some time to master this device. But with it, I'm sure I can suppress the outer defenses and return the quarry to a relatively safe state. Oh yes, it's perfectly safe to work the quarry again. I have something I want to try first. Something that will help repay the orcs for my indiscretion. If I can make a few adjustments, I want to offer the constructs to the orcs. I'm sure they'll make excellent workers.
As soon as our scouts sent word that people were emerging from the quarry, I hurried down to see what was happening. So, where's that damned elf and what did he do? Dwarves? That's the last thing I expected. From the stories I've heard, things involving ancient ruins and dwarves never turn out well. Then the elf survived? Perfect! That means I still get to wring his scrawny neck. Wait a moment. What's that sound? Troll dung, it's the constructs! The damn elf betrayed us! To arms, my clanmates! Let's show this mad elf what we think of his dwarven army.
Don't be alarmed. I bring a gift. These constructs can work your quarry and build a great city of Orsinium.
Damn you, elf. I should kill you where you stand.
What did I say? Please, my friend, make her see reason.
He got half my workers killed, and now he insults us as well? The elf's blood price is steep, and he's going to pay it very slowly. He got half my Greystone quarry belongs to Clan Tumnosh. It should be worked by Clan Tumnosh, not those metal monsters. As long as one Tumnosh lives, we'll extract stone from this quarry just the way Malakath intended. With orc sweat and orc muscle. We dishonor ourselves and our ancestors if we sat back and let machines do all the work for us. It figures that an elf would come up with such a disgraceful and dastardly plan. Do you really think the other clans will accept this tuskless runt and his clockwork pets building the king's precious city? It will divide the Orsimer even more than we already are. And that's saying something. Finally, an outsider who makes sense. We appreciate the elf's intentions, but it's not our way. We'll send him away, and the quarry will be ours again, just as Malakath intended.
What a waste of a perfectly good opportunity. Oh, very well. I'll defer to your expertise in diplomatic matters. I guess Dwemer constructs only deactivate when they leave their ruins as a My first thought was to offer them to one of the alliances as an army. But I don't have nearly enough for that. Then I figured to give them to the orcs as a way to make up for the trouble.
The Morrowind has her eye on you.
I want all the soldiers from all of the clans to circle the fort. Iceheart won't escape.
Our soldiers know what to do, Kira. You can count on that.
Then maybe this victory will finally convince you and the other chiefs to fully accept my claim to the throne.
Smoke, ash, and fire. Just like home.
Do you always just barge into the king's tent without so much as a by your leave? Who in the name of First Forge do you think you are, troll breath? So, you're one of the outsiders my mother's been harping about. I'm Kurog, king of the Orsimer. Welcome to my war. Your timing's perfect. I'm just finishing this damn fine leg of chubloon. You hungry? I do enjoy a good meal before a fight. It's a good thing that that's where we're going, then. This siege was taking too long anyway. Your Fawn Iceheart is the last of the Winterborn warlords, and frankly, I'm ready to be done with him. He knows we're coming, so I'm expecting a good fight. You bet your arse I told him we were coming. Fair's fair. It probably scared the ice water out of his veins. I want to see you in action. You lead, I'll follow. Now, let's go kill old Iceheart. Then we can return to Orsinium and feast. We need to find a way into that fort to get to Iceheart. Talk to the siege commanders and see
Load
if they
those
can get
catapults
inside.
faster, soldiers! We have them right where we want them!
Ha! Now that's a sight! Look at those catapults fly. I'm amazed the towers can withstand the punishment. The Bretons must have used orc crafters, and they built that place to last. But never fear, the Winterborn won't have a fort to protect them for much longer. Kirog summoned the chiefs of Wrothgar to besiege the Winterborn. One of our biggest problems are those Briarheart monstrosities. For every one we kill, 2 more take its place. I know there's a solution, but damn if it doesn't keep eluding us. We need to get inside the fort, find out where they're spawning those abominations. But the damn harpies! We can't walk 5 steps without becoming bird food. Siege Commander Dolph's working on a plan. I hope it's a good one, for all... This is the Winterborn's final stand. We destroy the Briarhearts, while Kurog deals with their warlord, Iceheart. If we succeed, Kurog will have ended a threat that has plagued us for far too long. Maybe then I'll consider accepting him as our king. Surprising, isn't it? We're pretty sure they're all connected through the Hag Ravens, or whatever you call those ugly old hags. It wouldn't surprise me if the Briarhearts are also their creation. They're all vile, a lot of them. The Briarheart warriors are like the undead, only worse. They talk to each other, think on their own, behave just like any other soldier. But there's no way they're alive, not with half their chest hanging wide open.
I guess you haven't experienced a Winterborn raid yet. You can actually see their foul hearts beating inside their open chests. Except they aren't hearts at all. More like some sort of malignant growth. It's unsettling to see, to say the least. You can say that. It started when he claimed the title of king. Many chiefs aren't ready to bend their knee to Kurog. It's not the Orc way. But Kurog knows how to conduct a battle. Look around. No clan could muster a force such as this. Kurog believes that the Orcs need a united kingdom. We've banded together to defend our land, but beyond that, we'll see. The Winterborn have been ransacking Wrothgar for years. At least Kurog has brought us together to try to put an end to that. Perhaps. But tradition sometimes is too high a wall to climb over. We're a proud and stubborn people. New ideas, they frighten us. And Kurog is full of new ideas. A new city, a new god. It's more than many of us can take. But if he wins the day...
For King Kurog! For Orsinium!
If you don't find the alchemist and destroy those nests, we'll never break this siege.
You heard him! For the king!
Get down!
No! Let me go! Yeah!
Damn it!
Looks like General
more
Doof
soldiers
could
that
use
way.
a hand.
You brought the king here? Then welcome to our siege camp. Sorry you had to see those damn harpies at work. I'm not sure King Kurog should be walking around out in the open, but I've got a barrel full of my own worries to deal with. If you want to become bird food, I'm not going to stop you. And after losing more soldiers to the harpies, I'm ready to accept any help I can get. Besides, anything is better than what the little wood elf was able to accomplish. Sent her in with a squad of orcs to deal with the harpy nests on the towers. Figured if the nests were on fire, the distraction would allow another squad to get in and put an end to the Briarhearts. But both groups have disappeared without a trace. A volunteer. I appreciate that kind of go-get-'em attitude. If you do manage to find either of the missing squads, remind them that they have their orders. I expect them to complete their missions. The outcome of this siege depends on them. The main path is too well defended. You'll be a lamb led to the slaughter if you go that way. Our siege provides some cover, so you might be able to sneak around the left side of the fort. And the right side is clear, except for the harpies. I sent the Wood Elf and one squad to set fire to the harpy nests. My siege engineers can easily calibrate the trebuchets to launch direct strikes against the airy towers. They just need the Winterborn zombies? Not much. Our alchemist, Alinen, has some experience dealing with the Reach. He thinks the Hag Ravens grow the hearts, planting them and harvesting them like grapes from a vine. A disgusting image, I know, but that's Alinen. That's what Alinen thinks. As long as he can put a stop to the foul things, I don't care how crazy his ideas sound. But he's with the second squad, somewhere on the other side of those walls.
Soldiers, lower your weapons. Looks like reinforcements have arrived. You and the king have come to our aid? We're honored. But we've been trapped in here for too long. We still have... Once again, we underestimated the Winterborn's capabilities. They caught scent of us as soon as we penetrated the walls. Harpies from above, Winterborn from all sides. We lost a lot of soldiers before we were able to take refuge in this tower. We need to get our archer into position to mark the Harpy Eyries so that our catapults can target them and destroy them. We lost all of our archers. The Wood Elf's all we have left. I hope she's as good of a shot as she claims to be. Our squad split off right after we entered the fortress. They're protecting the Breton alchemist who's supposed to be able to put an end to the Briarheart threat. But it doesn't matter if they're dead or alive if we don't deal with the Harpies. If you can clear us a path to the towers, we can get the elf into position so she can loose her signal arrows. Then the catapults can do their work. We need to hurry. We've lost too much time already.
Losing perfectly good troops to the Winterborn. Keep up, Elf.
Those harpies aren't going to kill
But
themselves.
there are so many stairs.
No time for complaints either. We have a mission to complete.
All right. Pushy orc. Just tell me when you want me to make the strike. Gusting winds. I'm getting really tired of you orcs trying to leave me be... That's strange. Where did the sergeant go? How typical. Now I know why Orsinium put out that call for help. Well, at least you're still here. Let me know when you want me to light the signal. Do me a favor and don't let any of those filthy harpies get too close. I'd hate to get carried off because I was busy concentrating on making this ridiculously easy strike. Speaking of which, let me know. 2 Ares destroyed, no problem. Now, let's find the Breton alchemist.
All right. On the count of 3, I'll just run and knock them back. I recognize that orc standing beside you. That's King Kurog. I'm honored that you and the king came to find me. I just wish you had gotten here sooner, before the rest of my squad was lost. Well, we were supposed to wait until the nests were destroyed before heading inside to find the source of the Briarhearts. But the Winterborn, they found us, overwhelmed the soldiers. I ran. I'm not proud of it, but I'm alive. That's what matters. Someone has to destroy the source of the Briarhearts, and I've dealt with the Reach before. They're a rather unhealthy obsession of mine. I know their beliefs, the way they attune with nature. Those Briarhearts, they're as natural as you and I. I have an inkling, but I need to get inside to confirm it. I need to see how they're applying their magic. That will lead me right to the source of the Briarhearts. But you'll need to keep me alive. A lot of people are counting on me to succeed. There's nothing else we can do out here. Let's get inside. I was the only alchemist available. I wish I wasn't, but here I am. Besides, they needed someone who had some experience with the Reach. Of course, I never expected to end up in the middle of a siege. I've encountered Reach magic before. I'm almost certain that these Briarhearts are grown in some fashion. Not unlike apples or grapes or juniper berries. From what I've been able to observe, when a Winterborn warrior falls, the Briarhearts are used to somehow bring them back from the dead. I'm pretty sure the Hagravens are involved in the process. If I'm right, and the Briarhearts are grown, then I can destroy them. I'll know for certain once we get inside and look around. I want to make sure I mix the elixir correctly. Wouldn't want to inadvertently make them stronger.
Ready when you are.
Come, follow me. If my suspicions are correct, we shouldn't have any trouble finding what I'm looking for.
We're all going to die down here, aren't we?
Keep your eyes open. We're looking for a plant or a root. Something that doesn't appear quite natural. Something odd, out of place. Something like this. Now there's something you don't see every day. A tree growing out of a corpse. I'd say this is what we're looking for. This sapling is but a root, however. Small part of a greater whole. Reach magic corrupts nature. It uses its innate properties to forge terrible powers. The Briarhearts require a larger plant to nurture them and make them grow. But this vile sapling is certainly connected. I can feel energy flowing through it. We need to destroy some of these saplings. Cut off their power to weaken the central tree. Once weakened, I can apply an alchemical solution to the central tree, wherever it grows, and hopefully destroy it, roots and all. Reach magic invades nature, the way a plague violates an infirm body. It changes its host, taking hold and letting its corruption grow stronger. It creates defenses, barriers that can't be easily overcome. It needs to be weakened before we lay siege. Find the saplings and burn as many as you can. That will weaken the corruption and make the defenses more fragile. Meanwhile, I'll concoct a potion using clippings from these little ones. Leave the elf here if you would. I could use the protection. Leave the sapling I found alone. I'll use it to prepare and test my elixir while you burn as many of the others as you can. By the time you return, I'll have developed a poison powerful enough to eat through the central tree's weakened defenses. No, not exactly. In some ways it's the same, but in many others it's completely different. The last time I dealt with reach magic, they were utilizing vines as big as you or I. This is an entirely new type of twisted magic, even for them. I'm completely confident of my abilities. That's just my nature. At its core, reach magic is all the same. They just employ different vessels for their perversions. Once you know how to kill one vile and twisted plant, you can kill them all.
You keep fighting, even though you're...
You think you are clever, burning tiny saplings. But they are mere children compared to our beloved tree. Your actions do not surprise me. Orcs and allies all believe they are stronger than the Reach. Foolish even to the end. I am preparing myself. Going through the ritual period of solitude before they place the Briarheart in my body. Once I take my place as a Briarheart warrior, I will kill you and rain death down upon the orcs who befoul our land. Angry, I am burning with a righteous rage. Once I have joined the ranks of the Briarheart warriors, that anger will fuel my vengeance and bring justice to my people. What haven't the orcs done? They claim land that rightfully belongs to the Reach. They attack and kill my people. They eat food that should be eaten by Winterborn. They are animals. And not even the help of outsiders will save them from my wrath. Our magic, you will never understand. To receive a Briarheart is a precious gift. To receive one while I'm still alive, that is a singular honor. The Hagravens give us these gifts, even as they care for the tree upon which the sacred fruit grows. What a terrible enemy you are. You don't even know about the source of your own doom. I would feel sorry for you, but instead I just want to kill you even faster. Of course I know about the tree. It gives the sacred fruit life. It is strong, powerful, eternal. It cannot be destroyed. It hates you, you know, because you burn its babies. I will kill you for doing that too. You think you can destroy our eternal tree with fire and axes?
So, I don't suppose you... maybe... might have seen Alanon on your way back? Maybe? Listen, it wasn't my fault. Alanon sent me to get him some moss that grows on the walls down here. When I got back, the alchemist was gone. Right, that's an excellent plan. But you should take this. Alanon said it was the last ingredient he needed to finish his elixir. I don't see his alchemy bag, so he must have the rest of the components with him. If the tree hasn't eaten them yet. What? No, of course not. At least, I don't think it ate him. But he told me that the Winterborn plant Briarheart seeds in dead bodies. The seed eats the body, sprouts roots, and nourishes the tree. Or something like that. I wasn't really listening. Well, I went that way to gather the moss, so he must have gone the other way. Probably turn right at the bend ahead. Let's split up. We can cover more ground that way. Besides, I kind of feel it's my fault, since I left him alone and all that.
It's about time you got here. Do something before I roast up here. Don't just stand there and watch me roast. Do something! What am I doing? I'm being roasted alive! What does it look like I'm doing? What's worse, they have my alchemy bag. The elixir was nearly complete when I stumbled into that Winterborn patrol. No. We're running out of time, and you have a more important task to complete. You have to destroy the central tree. Otherwise, the Briarheart warriors will eventually overrun the orcs. I'll find a way out of here. Somehow. Find the Hagraven that snatched my alchemy bag and grab the elixir. I couldn't wait for Evelie, so I found the moss on my own. Of course, that's when I ran into the Winterborn. Anyway, get the elixir and destroy that tree. Finish this. For me.
There you are. I was looking all over for... Hey, how'd Alanon get up there? That doesn't look very... I'm not 100% certain, but I bet I could break the chain holding up the cage with a few well-placed arrows. Sure. Don't worry. I've got this. You don't suppose the cage will shatter on impact, do you? No worries. I never hit anything I'm not aiming at. Well, except for that one time, but that totally doesn't count. I told Bomphor not to move. Go on. I'll take good care of the alchemist. Hey, Alan!
You found the elixir? Pour it on the tree. The Winterborn are on their way. Defend the tree until the elixir does its work. Just don't let the Winterborn get close enough to heal it.
No! Stop the intruders! The tree must not be destroyed!
Try breaking free! Still here? Asking? I don't want to hurt you, but now I'm going to.
Save the Briarheart! Kill the intruders! One more problem solved. Now, let's go. If you have any questions before we go in there, now's the time. I can see why my mother was so insistent about you. You're pretty good in a fight. I was gonna do this by myself, but I'm damn glad I waited for you. I'd be a fool to challenge Iceheart without you. Confident? Yes. Stupid? No. Your fine Iceheart is a legend among the Reachmen. For a while, we didn't even think he was a real person. But he's very real. And if the rumors are true, he's gonna be extremely difficult to kill. They say Yurfan has ice in his veins, that he can freeze an orc's blood with a flick of his wrist. Probably an exaggeration, but we should be careful. Either way, between the two of us, I'm certain we can beat him. Of course, more or less. But in case the battle goes badly, I should thank you now. I haven't fought alongside anyone I trusted since I became king. It's been an honor. Enough with the deep conversation. You ready to smash Iceheart's face?
So, the king of the pig children has come to die. Your soldiers failed, Kurog, and so will you.
I love it when my enemies mock me. Helps me work up a good rage.
You treat everything like a joke. That's why the orcs refuse to follow you. You mock the fallen and dishonor their sacrifices.
Dishonor them? I'll honor them by separating your head from your body. How do you like that, you cold bastard? Iceheart's blade is mine. Now maybe the clans will finally accept my rule. You don't know how good that feels. Your fond Iceheart is finally dead. Imagine you ate too much, and try as you might, you can't get out that really big belch. Then, finally, you let out a thunderous burp. Yes, that's how I feel right now. For all practical purposes, yes. The remaining Winterborn will put up a fight, but without a warlord, my soldiers should be able to wrap this up in short order. As for me, I can't wait to show off my trophy to the clan chiefs. Yeah, Iceheart's fancy sword. That should prove to the clan chiefs that we killed the warlord. Might even convince the fence-sitters to finally accept me as the rightful king of all the Orsimer. I want to check on the supplies the Winterborn stole from us, and get them ready to transport back to the city. Meet me at the keep when you're finished here. I want you there when I tell the chiefs what we accomplished today.
Maybe we could get some help? Even Vec will want to hear about that one.
We didn't come for a sermon, priestess. Just here to see Kurog.
I meant no offense, Chief Barzrag. I only seek to spread Trinamac's good words.
Again with these Trinamac lies. Let me show you what Malakat thinks of your stupid words.
Your anger is uncalled for, clan chiefs. Please excuse us, Solbra. I see our champion has returned.
You? They pulled you into their madness? How disappointing.
As you can see, the clan chiefs can be a contentious lot. They oppose King Kurog at every turn, especially on matters of faith. But tell me, was Kurog successful? Did you defeat the Winterborn warlord? I knew you'd be able to help Kurog in his mission. Perhaps now the other clans will see that Kurog is destined to lead us all. Once all the clans unite, just imagine the power we will wield. The king sent for them. They are a few of the more vocal opponents to my son's plans, and they refuse to bend their knees to him. They are blinded by centuries of custom and tradition. They refuse to see the glory that King Kurog wants to bestow upon us all. Instead, they stick their heads in the mud like a frightened Argonian and pretend that the old ways are so much better. My son wants to free us from the traditions that hold us back. They mire us in outdated notions and restrictions. We need to become a modern society if we want the other kingdoms to respect us, to take us seriously. King Korog will make that happen.
Excellent! Everyone's here. The time has come. Swear allegiance to me. Orsinium will prosper once the clans unite under my rule.
This again, Korog? Why should we submit to you this time?
Behold! I wield the Blade of Iceheart. With the help of outsiders, I have vanquished our greatest foe and retrieved the stolen supplies. The chiefs could not stop the Winterborn. Only I have accomplished that.
You ask much, Korog. To turn away from Malakath. To abandon our most cherished customs.
Basrog, my old friend. Your outdated ideas will be the death of me.
Don't tempt us, Korog. Our traditions won't bend to the will of an idiot chief who decides to call himself
King! Idiot! Chief! I am your king. You would all do well to remember that. Now get out of my sight!
You embark on a dangerous path, Korog. We won't forget this.
Treasonous bastards! I just saved their ungrateful arses, and this is the thanks I get? I even showed them Iceheart's sword! How can I create a united nation when the chiefs refuse to accept my rule? More often than not, yes. There's always some fool who wants to quote the Code of Malakath or insult my honor. It infuriates me! How can we build a respectable kingdom when we can't even abandon our most ridiculous superstitions? Targak, it was all I could do not to kill all three of those troll lovers. Let Basrog and Dular think about what happened. I only hope they can set aside old traditions and accept the future I envision. Their support would make things much easier. For now, no. Go explore Wrothgar and get to know this great city. Enjoy yourself. When you're ready for a new challenge, find me at my private tavern in the city. I'm sure I'll have something that requires your specific skill set by then. Over here! Come and have a drink with Wrothgar's king! Try the Iceberry Ale. It's delicious. I love this place. Back at the keep, I'm always being pulled in a dozen directions. Fighting over here, debating over there, gives me a headache. But here, I can just eat and drink until I pass out. What are you implying? That Korog needs protection? Ha! Iceheart wasn't the first to challenge me, and he won't be the last. Let my enemies come. They'll wind up dead and bloody at my feet. That's what royal servants are for, to clean up the mess. It's a good thing I like you, because the last person who asked me these sorts of questions had the curiosity beaten out of him. But I don't want to fight with you. That's not why I called you here. Are you ready to listen? We opened Orsinium to the best and brightest. Crafters, farmers, scholars, anyone who can help bring my vision to life. I leave the details to my wives and mother. But you attracted my attention. Which brings us to the big question. You helped Chief Basrog. You fought at my side as we defeated Iceheart and his Winterborn warriors. In short, you impress me. People who impress me either turn out to be a help or a hindrance to my plans. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let me speak plainly. You could pose a threat to me, but I prefer to consider you an ally. Share a few drinks, like we're doing now. I could use someone like you. Someone to deal with problems that require a more personal touch. Clan chief problems. There are still stubborn chiefs out there who don't agree with my vision, who don't want to see our people united. They're stuck in the old ways. Ways that have failed our people time and time again. It's time to change that. You made an impression on Bosrog. Whether he likes it or not, he owes you for helping the clans. The other chiefs respect Bosrog. We can use this whole situation to our advantage. Get them to listen to matters they would normally refuse to hear. For now, nothing. Relax, have a drink. Enjoy all the pleasantries that Roxanne and her fine establishment have to offer. But when I need you, I expect you to be ready and willing to get the job done. Oh, what are those two doing here? Damn it! You two always show up and ruin my fun.
Oh, I have not even begun to ruin your fun, my king. But let's leave the pleasantries for later. We have an urgent situation to report.
I can never tell when you're joking. Fine. What's so important?
The Trinimac Temple has been attacked, my beloved. Malakath devotees have barricaded the doors and taken the priests as hostages.
These fanatics dare to attack my city? My people? I'll deal with them personally.
You will do no such thing, my son. After what happened in the throne room, this is undoubtedly a trap.
I won't sit by while they attack my city!
This problem requires a personal solution, and I have a perfect idea. Outsider, let us talk. My son's bravery borders on stupidity. He would run off and stumble blindly into their trap without the slightest regard for his safety. We must not allow that to happen. Oh, child, I always have a better idea. My son's rage makes it difficult for him to see clearly. His instinct is to charge every problem straight on and beat it into submission. His enemies know this and often use it against him. Bosrog and the other clan chiefs know King Kurog all too well. They expect him to attack and kill the heretics, just as the heretics will kill the hostages. Innocent lives will be lost and blame will fall squarely on Kurog's shoulders. You are an outsider with connections to Orsinium that are tenuous at best. Enter the temple and rescue our people. If you succeed, you save innocent lives at the king's request. If you fail, well, at least the king won't be blamed.
Everyone, clear the streets and go home. Let the king's soldiers deal with this. Back away, citizen. We have enough to deal with as it is. My soldiers can't do their job with all you civilians getting underfoot. Just because you carry a weapon doesn't mean you know how to use it. And as you can see, I already have more amateur warriors volunteering to help than I can handle. Why don't you just stand back and leave this to the professionals? Right, and I'm High King Emmerich's long-lost brother. I know what you're trying to do. You're playing a dangerous game, outsider. I hope you realize that. Very well, I'll check with the Forge Mother. But if you've lied to me, I'll hunt you down, toss you in a cell, and throw away the key! I think there's a back entrance up the stairs near the Mages Guild. I sent soldiers to find it.
There's trouble afoot.
The king sent you here to rescue the hostages, didn't he? Of course he did. That's why they recruited heroes after all, am I right? Listen, I have a plan. It's brilliant. Want to hear it? See those hawkers behind me? Don't look. Anyway, They've been acting suspiciously. Standing around, making shifty eyes, showing odd hand gestures to passers-by. I've read enough Investigator Vale books to recognize criminal behavior when I see it. You never read Investigator Vale? The book's about the brilliant scholar who travels the world and solves crimes. She doesn't use magic or weapons, just her charm and her wits and... Look, I'll lend you a copy later, but we need to focus here. Isn't it obvious? Look at their evil demeanor, their villainous whispering. I bet if we rattle them, they'll run off and lead us right to the hostages. Watch. I'll just let loose an arrow. That should put the fear of Ifray into the survivor. Really? I mean, yes! I knew I liked you for a reason. Once the other one starts to run, don't let him out of your sight. He should lead you right to the hostages. On my mark. Stop, you! Thief! And there goes the other one! Get him!
Hey, I was walking here. Run into me again and I'll knock your teeth out.
Watch where you're going, you idiot!
I have a good mind to throw a lightning bolt at you.
Defend the temple! I don't want to hurt you, but now I'm going to.
No!
Thank Trinimac you're here. Someone has to save my fellow priests inside the temple. Please, I need your help. The priests inside the temple are at the mercy of these fanatics. Please, I think they want to kill my brothers and sisters in Trinimac. Malakath fanatics. They burst into the temple and began rounding up my fellow priests. They spat at us and shouted that we were betraying our race. They said that Chief Basrag sent them to punish us for opposing the true god of the orcs. They invoke the chief's name, saying he seeks revenge against the king and any who follow the false god. I've known Chief Basrag to be a hard man, but never a cruel man, never a murderer. What has the king done to anger him so? I see. I respect the king and all that he stands for, but his temper, it has gotten us into trouble more times than I care to remember. If it's vengeance Basrag seeks, then the king will be responsible for the deaths of the temple priests. They made such a commotion when they barged in. I spotted them from the upper balcony and slipped out the back door. I was about to go find help when more of those ruffians surrounded me. I thought I was finished. My fellow priests were still alive when I slipped out of the temple. But the tension in the air, I'm afraid violence is inevitable. They set up patrols inside the temple, watching for Kurag and his soldiers. They're holding the priests captive in the rectory. If one of the torchbearers spots you and reaches the rectory, you won't be able to save them. Avoid the torchbearers at all costs, or at least strike them down before they can sound a warning. Take this key. It will unlock the temple's rear entrance. Once inside, you'll need to find the key to the rectory, where they're holding my fellow priests. The fanatic who gives the orders, their commander, he probably has the key to the rectory. May the luck of Trinimac be with you. I'll inform the guards and try to send more help your way.
Everyone's dead.
Maybe there's still hope for the others. Solgra, she took them with her. Tried to hide in the back. I don't know what's happened to Solgra and the others. High Priestess Solgra and our brothers and sisters in Trinimac. The fanatics gathered us up and forced us in here. But Solgra, she isn't one to put up with such nonsense. She put a blade into one of them and ran into the back to help the others. I have the key. I'll open the door for you. Find the others, please. I don't know what Solgra planned to do, but she had that look in her eyes when the fanatics started hurting our people. Solgra and the others should be somewhere through this door. You killed one of mine. Orders be damned! You're going to die for that, priestess!
One? I plan to kill a dozen more if you don't leave my temple now! Thank you for that. I thought I could handle them, but the odds got a little overwhelming. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine once I catch my breath. Just got the wind knocked out of me a little, that's all. Not exactly. They claimed to be devoted followers of Malakath, and said they were working for Chief Basrag. They caught us by surprise, threatened us. Did you run into Ugus? How are he and the others faring? Don't blame yourself. You have saved lives that without your intervention would certainly have been lost. But I'm still confused as to what the attackers hoped to accomplish. Why take us hostage? Why not simply kill us and be done with it? Spill the blood of innocents and blame the king for their deaths, for not being able to protect his people. What a fiendish scheme. But the king sent you in his stead. Very astute on his part. That decision may have saved many lives. We were supposed to assume they were Malakath devotees, but they didn't seem particularly religious to me. Even I don't believe Malakath would sanction a slaughter such as this. They mentioned Chief Basrag, though. Said he gave them their orders. I've always found the chief to be noble, but it doesn't take a lot to change a person. His forts ravaged, his traditions threatened. I can see how such things could lead to this. The king and the Forge Mother must be told what happened here.
You're alive. Finally, something good comes out of this debacle. Too many priests died because of those fanatics. We removed their bodies, but if word of this gets out... I need to know. Did you find High Priestess Solgra? Is she safe? That is good news indeed. I will make sure that a military contingent protects this temple going forward. It will not be left undefended again. Increased patrols around the perimeter, soldiers assigned to guard the inside of the temple. The priests will not have to live in fear of another attack, not so long as my son is king. I assume you know who claimed responsibility for this? Basrag has never agreed with Kurog. He made threats in the throne room, as I'm sure you heard. Besides, his boldness and devotion to Malakath are legendary. It appears Basrag wishes to challenge our king. My son needs to solidify his hold on the clans. All of the chiefs must accept Kurog as their king for the betterment of the Orsimer people. If we gain support of the clans, we can stop Basrag without inciting an all-out war. You have done enough for today. Though lives were lost, thanks to you, others were saved. Take this for your efforts, and keep your ears open. We will contact you when the king again has need of your services. Solgra, my child, come join us. Are you injured? Should I call a healer?
I am well enough, but innocent blood was spilled in the temple this day.
I grieve for your fellow priests as much as you do, but changing the Orsimer way of life brings risks we are all well aware of.
Trinimac's words. I came here to share them, not to bury my brothers and sisters in the faith.
Ah, there you are. Guess what? I have another message for you from the king. It's wonderful to see you again, my friend, but I really wish the king would find someone else to serve as a messenger. I have so many other talents that could greatly benefit Orsinium. I have no idea. Although I did hear something or other about a moot of some kind. I suppose the best way to find out is to go and see the king. In the throne room, up at the keep. Hopefully he won't be in too foul of a mood when you get there. He seemed out of sorts when I told him this was the last message I was going to deliver. Either he finds something else for me to do, or I'm leaving.
Ah, my friend and ally has returned. Let's talk. I heard what you did at the temple. Your efforts no doubt saved countless lives. It pains me to learn that Chief Bosrog was involved, though. Bosrog's never agreed with my plans. He's a traditionalist, stubborn and old-fashioned to the end. His unwavering devotion to Malekith, his hatred of Trinimec, his refusal to recognize my authority. I'd say Chief Bosrog is getting desperate. Bosrog wants to start a war. Damn it all to oblivion, we'll have to stop him. He has the strength to overwhelm the lesser clans, and he's no suckling cub when it comes to fighting either. If he were to make a challenge for my throne, it's time to assemble the Great Moot. I want you to visit the clan chiefs that still haven't come around to our way of thinking. Talk some sense into them. You need to get to them before Bosrog poisons the well and turns them against me. You made an impression already, but don't worry. I'm not expecting them to come just because you asked nicely. The chiefs are stubborn, but they each have a problem that's confounding their clan. Solve their problems, and they'll attend the moot. Now you get it. Help the chiefs, and they'll be obligated to accept your invitation. I've tried to convince the chiefs of Tumnash, Morkel, and Shatul to join my kingdom. I even married a few of their daughters. We need a better solution. Tell them that you come to help in the name of King Kurog, that I'm hosting a gathering of clans, and I want the chiefs to attend. And it needs to be the clan's chief that comes to the moot. If they try to send a subordinate, I'll be highly insulted. Do whatever it takes. The chiefs must attend the moot. I trust you won't fail me. When this is over, Wrothgar will finally be forged into a united kingdom. Meet me at my corner club after you finish. All this planning has given me a powerful thirst. More? What more is there to say? They refuse my every overture and laugh at my authority. We need to convince them of the veracity of my grand vision. Oh, very well. What specifically do you want to know? The stoneworkers? Tumnash operates the Greystone Quarry, the primary source of building materials for Orsinium. I'm not sure what Chief Ramash is up to, but he's fallen behind on his shipments. Maybe you can help get the quarry back on track. The Morkel clan is famous for its smiths. Some of the finest arms and armor has come out of their forges. I've been trying to get them to send experts to help us build the city, but Chief Abzug continues to hem and haw. Family troubles, he says. One of the best clans as far as food production and livestock is concerned. Expert hunters and farmers, every one of them. Chief Ogzor promised to send herds of Icharters to help feed the city, but we haven't seen so much as a bushel of apples yet.
Ah, outsider. I confess I had my doubts, but my forge wife tells me you were as good as your word. Thank you for helping restore order to the Greystone Quarry. Oh, very well. You performed a vital service for my clan. The least I can do is go and listen to whatever fancy words Kurog wants to shout at us this time. I'll see you in Orsinium, outsider.
I sure wish Master Dren was here. Master Dren went into the old barrow and told us to wait here. There's probably spiders in there. There are always spiders crawling around the tombs back in Skyrim. Don't tell Berries, but I'm kind of afraid of spiders. You must have heard of the great Narcissus Dren. I am his trusted servant, and Berries over there is his able assistant. Master Dren promised to take care of the Draugr problem for Masgroth and the orcs. He entered the barrow, but he hasn't returned. You know, the dead Nords that get up and walk. They've been wandering out of the barrow and bothering the orcs down in the village. I was going to look for Master Dren, but then I remembered the spiders. Can't be too careful around spiders. You're looking for Master Dren? Oh, that is kind of you. I really can't abide spiders. Their condition, I think. The barrow's entrance is over there. Master Dren said he would be right back, but he's been gone so long. It's not like him to miss dinner. You have never heard of Narcissus Dren? What rock have you been living under? He is the greatest treasure hunter, dungeon delver, and heroic adventurer ever to walk the land. And the books he writes are real page-turners. It is my honor to serve him. He's got a sense about such things, that's for sure. We came to explore the barrow, but when Master Dren noticed the Draugr, he readily offered his services to Masgroth and the Orc village. He is a genuine hero, if you ask me. Well, I have not actually visited the place, but it looks kind of small. Not a proper orc stronghold at all, if you ask my opinion. But I met Masgroth, the huntwife. She's always wandering about and checking on things that might threaten the village. Oh, Master Dren is always helping somebody. It's what he does, don't you know? Told Masgroth he would take care of the Draugr dilemma and charged right into that barrow over there. I wish I was half the adventurer that Narcissus Dren is. Master Dren couldn't wait to explore the place. The locals call it Exile's Barrow, though no one's quite sure who the exile is. We do know that it is old, it's Nord, and that the orcs refuse to go near it. That means it probably has not been looted. That's where the Draugr are, so that's where his braveness went. He's not afraid of spiders, not him. Masgroth and the orcs can handle a few walking corpses, but an entire barrow? Something must have disturbed their rest to cause this much trouble.
Oh, that was unexpected. Never had a lid get stuck like that while I was, investigating. Ah, it's a good thing you happened by. And in an old barrow, no less. But tell me, are you a simple admirer or a true devotee of my work? How wonderful for you, for you have found him. So tell me, do you want me to sign one of my books, or have you come to watch a real adventurer at work? Why wouldn't I be all right? I am the great Narcissus Dren, after all. Still, I'm always willing to show a novice adventurer the ropes. Forward, my friend, and together we will deal with the Draugr of this barrow. After you. A plan? Narcissus Dren always has a plan. Haven't you read my books? Of course, it's a work in progress. I'm sure it involves locating the main burial chamber and finding a switch or lever. In my experience, it's always a switch or lever. Now, onward. What a spacious chamber. It's most likely the primary tomb's antechamber. Look at those pillars! This barrow is definitely from an earlier period than the ones I've explored in Skyrim. Ooh, that large door must lead to the main burial chamber. I am, after all, quite familiar with this sort of thing. The carving on this pillar, I think it's some sort of switch. How exciting! I wonder what happens if I press it. That's strange. Usually when I press something, something happens. Ah, this panel is broken. That must be the key. Yes, I'm sure it is. Ooh, a number of these carvings are broken. Yes, yes. I see what we must do. I think... yes, I'm sure it is. This must be the primary tomb's antechamber. Look at that artwork. Definitely from the Nordneo Strife period. If this place follows the usual construction, the main burial chamber is right behind that door. It's what we in the adventuring trade call a puzzle lock. When we solve the puzzle, the door unlocks. Oh, but look, 3 of the stone panels are broken. We need to find the missing chunks before we can solve the puzzle and open the tomb. I think you have this well in hand, so I'll stand back and give you room to... Don't mind me. I'll just go and examine that panel. Well, isn't this intriguing? Look at the attention to detail, the complex composition. I can tell that a dedicated artist created this work. Isn't it obvious? The dragon and the dragon priest destroyed a mountain. But from this angle, it looks more like they're building or restoring something. The imagery of the Neo-Strife period can be very confusing to the untrained eye. Let's not leap to conclusions. Interpreting ancient carvings requires training and experience. A squiggle here or a line placed there can change the entire meaning. Let's look around. There might be a broken panel piece nearby. I'm going to be the envy of Nord scholars everywhere. These carved images are simply remarkable. Something praying. Some grand ceremony. Clearly that's the dragon priest. Something ascension, I think. Oh, how little you know me. The dragon died, the priest killed himself, and his followers sealed themselves in this barrow, making the whole place disappear into the mists of time. Ta-da! Now. Look! Ancient artwork! Just like in the antechamber. Oh, how exciting! Oh, isn't it remarkable? I love finding this kind of stuff. This kind of sculpture is called a relief. Look how the images seem to rise out of the very stone. I think it's meant to tell some sort of story. Now, this is purely conjecture on my part, but if I interpret the image correctly, it depicts the Gnosis Dren of his day. Look at how his admirers worship him. Either that or it's a dragon priest celebrating some sort of triumph or victory. In days of old, the dragons ruled the world through their powerful servants, the dragon priests. Now that I think about it, this could depict the time of the Dragon War. Let's find more of these remarkable images and see what else they can tell us. get a mention in my next book. Deal with any ruffians, if you would. I see more artwork to examine. I must determine how to safely remove one of these wonderful depictions. This appears to show the dragon priest, and their followers going on some sort of trip. Perhaps it was a quest, or a pleasurable excursion into the countryside. I'm not sure. They do seem a bit grim. Good suggestion, but it's difficult to know for certain. To convey complex ideas such as an exodus with a single image is harder than you think. Let's look around. We might find one of the missing pieces for the tomb lock around here.
Whew, that was a bit of a warm-up.
Good work with the dragon priest. Now, let me just... Oh, keys! I knew it! The treasure vault awaits! I knew there was a vault in this barrow. Look at all these treasures! I'm beside myself with elation. Must be around here somewhere. Come to Narcissus Dren, you ancient beauty. This will increase my reputation 1,000-fold. Well, this has been a most exciting adventure. You did quite well, my able assistant. Oh, that was exhilarating! I'd say we're done here. Another profitable adventure for the famous Narcissus Dren. But it's a dragon priest mask, an early one no less. It will be a crowning glory in my vast collection. Besides, Narcissus Dren does not loot. He searches, he explores, he entertains, and I couldn't have done it without your help. A fraud? What a hurtful thing to say. And it wasn't my... Oh, all right. Perhaps my initial investigation caused a bit of a problem, but now that the dragon priest has been vanquished, the problem will take care of itself. All's well that ends well. Another dragon priest? I'll just hide in here while you deal with him. Dusty! Ooh, a gold chain. Wait! What are you doing? That's it! You're definitely not getting a mention in my next book!
I know you. You're one of those outsiders that Kurog brought to our land. I heard you've done some amazing feats, but I'd rather you didn't linger in my stronghold. Sorry, but I have problems of my own right now. As long as my forge wife is miserable, I can't deal with anything else. I wonder, does King Kurog have a solution for volatile family disputes? I'd definitely listen to him speak on that topic. If you're brave enough, talk to Wrothgar and do whatever she asks. If you can finally get her to stop yelling at me, I'll go and listen to whatever Kurog wants to say.
I must finish this.
Fool girl! Children. Never have them! The king insisted on a Morkel daughter for his forge wife. But then he decided to pass over my eldest. Now Ashika wants to prove him a fool for marrying her little sister. Malekith alone knows why Ashika ran off. Wounded pride sent her to Morkel descent, no doubt. Idiot! The girl will end up as Ogre Dun or a spider hatchery. Running off to Morkel descent is why Ashika's still unwed! Finding glory in old relics instead of at the king's side? He'd have chosen her if she wasn't so headstrong. Ugh. Go on, ask. Old clan legend says it's full of relics. Every few years, a new crop of idiots runs off there to get killed. You want to know what's in there? Ogres, and spiders the size of ogres. I can tell you how long it takes steel to melt. You want old stories? Go ask a poet. Ashika thinks she's steel in a world full of iron. For all the king blusters, she'd challenge him at every turn. Her little sister is content to just run a forge. Easy choice. Also, I punched his mother. Now, it was years ago. Alga said the breastplate I made her son was adequate. Question my skill with a word from a daggerfall parlor. Pah! Didn't help that Ashika's first dagger had Alga's tooth forged into the hilt. Worth it, though.
Who are you? It doesn't matter, the Hand of Morkel is mine. Once I find it, which is harder than I thought. That's why you're here, isn't it? What? Why? My what? Does she even listen to me? She never listens. Honor of the clan, I say. You'll find someone soon, she says. All right. She sent you here to help? Good. Help me find Morkeldin. The long-lost home of Morkel clan. The old poems say it was buried in ice and stone-marked thrice. See the statues? Morkel's stonework and very old. Morkeldin has to be nearby, but well, maybe you can find the way in. The old poems of Morkeldin's founding mention a heroic trio who rebuffed Winter's grasp and found haven beneath. Maybe they saved the clan from a tunnel collapse. Oh, there's some writing at the base of the statues. Couldn't make sense of it. Buried in ice and stone-marked thrice. The statues must reveal the way inside. I think there's an order to lighting the braziers, but I can't get it to work. That's it! The Hand of Morkel. It's in some sort of... What is that, a display? It's nestled in there tight. Of course we can't just take it. The Hand of Morkel is held in something called the... I think it said Heart Forge? Also, endless breath and untold rage lets purest heart release the hand. Poets. We need to rekindle the forge. Endless breath has to mean bellows, and untold rage is... a furnace? Strange way to say it. Morkel clan prefers simple solutions that last. Look for switches or some kind of mechanism. We'll see what happens when you set things in motion. Oh, and stay alert. My ancestors wouldn't leave this place completely unguarded. You did it! Now for purest heart. The old clan word for heart also means blood. Purest blood. Morkel blood? My father is Morkel's chief. My blood must work. Just a quick flash of the knife. Look, it's opening. Like a hand. Opening. Oh. Oh no. Hand of Morkel isn't our forge hammer. It's the cage around it. And if my clan's old word for heart also means blood, then this wasn't our heart forge. It was our... My mother says we're the best smiths in Wrothgar because we put heart in the steel. Whose heart? Whose blood? Morkel clan hasn't had enemies since the days of Morkelden. Did we feed our rivals to that thing? You're right. The old poems aren't about honor we lost when we left Morkelden. It's honor gained for burying our greatest shame beneath a mountain of ice. And a warning to stay away from the Hand of Morkel, which... well, we couldn't have known. Not without blood magic. But I can't just leave it here. It's our heritage. I'll bring it back to the stronghold, but what then? What do I tell my clan? Of course. Returning the Forge Hammer will fill my clan with pride. Enough to take the sting away when I explain what Morkelden was. We must make peace with our ancestors and remember the lessons they taught. They've forged with clean hands for generations. The clan needs to know why that's important. I heard a rumbling when you rekindled the forge. Maybe another way out.
Is that your ally, Ashaka? Quiet! Ashaka speaks on a matter concerning the clan.
Morkel clan, I come to you with a hard truth. But when have we ever feared the truth? I return from Morkelden with our clan's greatest treasure. Behold, the Hand of Morkel. It's true our ancestors locked away the hammer, but not for the reasons we thought. Morkelden housed a blood forge. It's true, our clan once turned to dark magic, but they faced this hard truth and abandoned it. For the blood we work into the metal is our own, not that of our enemies. I say to you, that is the strength of Morkel. This hammer shows our ancestors' strength. With it, we forge a new destiny.
Prepare yourselves, my clan. Soon we march to Orsinium. We shall build it anew.
Do you see how my clan looks at the Forge Hammer? The fire in their eyes? They'll rebuild Orsinium by themselves if they have to. Now, I name you Bloodkin to Morkel clan. Last thing I'll do before heading to Orsinium. The king needs a clan who can work its great forge. You think we'd let Shatul embarrass us with their inferior iron?
Kurog's outsider. I'm not sure what you did exactly. Sure, why not? I'll go to this...
And my champion returns. Still alive, and with most of your vital body parts intact. My shield wives owe me. I told them not to bet against me. But enough of that. Were you successful? Are the clan chiefs going to attend the moot? Perfect! You've done me a great service, my friend. The moot will be remembered as the turning point for Wrothgar. The day when all the clans united under the rule of a strong and visionary king. A new golden age for the Orsimer begins here. Now, why, we prepare for the moot, of course. It will be packed. Clan chiefs from the farthest reaches of Wrothgar will come together to finally accept my vision for the future. This is how a kingdom is born. Too bad Bosrog is going to miss it. Don't worry about Bosrog. He hasn't been seen since the attack on the temple. He's probably gone so deep into hiding or run so far away that we'll never see that traitor again. Why should I be? You're concerned enough for both of us. But come on, you're worse than my shield wives. Have a drink. Have the whole damn keg if you want. And take this for services rendered. Now, all we have to do is sit back and wait.